Warpugs, the Swarmlord, one of the more interesting variants of the cockroaches of doom. Guys, if you're ever caught between a Swarmlord and a wall, it's time to figure out how to drill. It's not exactly a good, place to be. It's not exactly a fun time to be there, but I believe Commissar Caiaphas Kane said if your choices for survival are death or charging a Carnifex with a broken table leg, you charge the Carnifex. Guys, this is supposed to be the apex Tyrannid, and we still don't know if there's more Tyrannid forms yet to come. This was requested by Dank Madness in the Discord, and this is Majorkill's Just How Powerful is the Swarmlord. We're gonna jump right headfirst into this. One of the things about learning about 40k lore in its entirety is learning how much more terrifying stuff there is out there that you have yet to discover. And I would love to see some more information on more Xenos, just because I'd love to make them extinct. That's just how it is for Imperium fanboys like me. We're gonna jump right into this. It's Majorkill. We know it's gonna be fun. Let's jump right in. All of Majorkill's links are gonna be in the description below, right next to my own. Hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get into it.
G'day guys and gals.
Hi.
There is a massive, slightly obnoxious but pretty funny trope in Warhammer 40k of giving certain factions super powerful and impressive characters, but then making it so their deaths are of no consequence, hence they're constantly killed by other characters to show how badass the other character is. This is called the Wolf Effect, with a lot of people pointing towards the avatar of Cain being its biggest victim. However,
I have made this point several times. In fact, with the video I did with Pancras No Works on the Avatar of Cain itself, quite simply put, it is the war for the 40k universe.
I would argue that the Tyrannid Swarmlord, their supreme commander, the physical manifestation of the hive mind's martial prowess, who gets clapped on the daily by dudes who have no business being able to do that. But that begs the question, just how powerful is the Swarmlord really? Is the apex predator an absolute beast with no equal who just gets unlucky, or is he actually super mid, with all of his deaths making sense because he's not actually that great? That's what we'll answer today.
Okay.
Before we get started, I'm going to hit you with some cold hard science. Absolutely everyone should be doing a skincare routine right now. No matter how old or young you are, it'll make your face feel better, look better, and treat all the various skin issues that people have. Like,
This camera is barely holding on as it is, capturing my ugliness. Maybe I should consider this. Tell me more.
acne, oily skin, discolored skin, dark circles under the eyes, and so on. The issue is us blokes don't know what brands to use or products or protocols, so I've partnered up with Joology to save the day.
Okay.
Joology makes life easy by getting you to fill out a quick survey before then sending you a custom skincare package to your door with specialized ingredients. For me, the Aussie sun is brutal and I can get oily sometimes, so my package has some sunscreen and the moisturizer among other things to help with that. Joology isn't just about having a pretty face though. With their range of natural ingredient, great smelling deodorants, shampoos, body washes, and more, you can absolutely max out your hygiene and scent. People say that the biggest turnoff is poor hygiene and bad smell, so why not make that a non-factor with Joology? The best part is that by using my link, QR code, or code Majorkill70, you'll get a massive 70% off your first skincare package, as well as an additional 30% off a product of your choice. I'd recommend the roll-on deodorant, it slaps. Cheers to Joology for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over the Swarmlord's strength, speed, durability, skill, and abilities, before then looking over instances of it in the lore to determine just how powerful the Swarmlord is really.
Let's
go.
go.
Get into it. The Swarmlord is considered to be the apex Tyrannid form, all the hive mind's vicious malice and destructive force put into a single being. Now that doesn't mean it is the most physically powerful. The Biotitan, Non-Emissary, or even Carnifexes have it beat there. However, it is a jack-of-all-trades commander unit. It is also an extremely powerful synapse unit, meaning if a Swarmlord is present on a planet, all NIDs on said planet will be fully cohesive due to the influence and direction of the hive mind. Usually it would require multiple massive bioforms or Norn Queens means to achieve this, but the Swarmlord can do it by itself. Okay, onto the physical strength of the Swarmlord. A Swarmlord is a supercharged upgrade of a Hive Tyrant. It stands a number of times taller than a Space Marine, which makes mental images of it dueling a Space Marine pretty retarded, since one of its swords appears to be longer than an Astartes, but alas, it actually does seem to duel Space Marines all the time, usually coming off second best. Now, I personally wasn't able to attend the 2023 Tyranid Power Meet, where the Swarmlord showed off his impressive squat, bench, and deadlift, so I don't have exact strength numbers for the big boy, but I'd put him up there with a greater demon sort of strength. Battering tanks aside, cutting through heavy armor with ease, picking up superhumans like they are dolls, and then ripping them apart. The only Space Marine where the Swarmlord wasn't able to cleanly overpower with raw strength was Marneus Calgar. But Calgar is literally fucked in the head with how overpowered and ridiculous he is, so I wouldn't take that too personally.
The man is literally a gorilla in a blue suit. That is Marneus Calgar, and the second time he fought the Swarmlord, well, the first time he fought the Swarmlord, he got BTFO'd. But the second time he fought the Swarmlord, he was more machine than man. Twisted and evil.
How about his durability? To take him down, the Swarmlord needs to be hit really hard with the biggest thing you've got. Laser bolts ping off it, bolt shells create small but mostly harmless craters, and even significant wounds from plasma guns or power weapons don't really put it down. You need to hit it in the right spot with something serious. When it fought Dante, Dante killed it by shooting it in the head with his special modified volcano pistol, something not even a Primarch would be able to survive. So I wouldn't say that makes it delicate. During that duel, Dante even struck off one of its arms and disabled it. Without skipping a beat, the Swarmlord simply cut off the useless limb so it wouldn't get in the way. It didn't even roar or grunt, which shows that it doesn't even feel pain. The Swarmlord isn't really able to bleed out. Like all Tyranids, a good hit will score you a spray of alien ichor, but that would basically be it. You wouldn't be able to kill the Swarmlord by scoring a few bleeding mortal wounds. You'd have to hit it with a decisive blow. In saying that, Marneus was literally able to beat the Swarmlord to death with his power fists, but as I've said, that is Marneus for ya. Probably a more realistic way to kill it is how Reclusiarch Cassius put it down. He and his elite squad engaged the Swarmlord, and it hit Cassius with a psychic blast. However, Cassius has been trained to fortify his mind, so he was able to recover, which the Swarmlord didn't expect. As it turned around to kill his men, he jumped at it and started smashing its brains apart with his powered Crozius. He then...
Of all the ways to get beaten up by a Space Marine, the Crozius is usually the worst, because it's one of the worst practical weapons ever. Honestly.
Point blank turbo blasted its head with a flamer, which brought it to his knees. Then to finish it off, his squad fired hellfire incendiary rounds at the Swarmlord, while Cassius continued to smash its head in with his Crozius until it finally died. That is actually pretty fucked. Imagine Gilliman getting his head smashed in dozens of times with a powered weapon, while getting lit up with hellfire rounds, while getting his head incinerated. I guarantee he wouldn't even have lasted half as long as the Swarmlord. So yes, even though it does sometimes die in semi-retarded ways, it is still very durable. Something to note is that the Swarmlord's resurrections in between deaths is very fast. If you do not repel or destroy the Tyranid invasion after killing the Swarmlord, the Hive Fleet will begin remaking him straight away, so you really need to capitalize if you're able to take him down. What really makes the Swarmlord scary, however, is its speed. It isn't this lumbering tank, it's blindingly fast, which is fuck considering it wields 4 swords. Now it isn't Primarch or Solitaire fast, after all Dante was able to hold his own and parry a number of the Swarmlord's attacks, and he's an old man, but with 4 weapon arms working in perfect unison, it's basically impossible to sustain a duel with it for long. Any fight with the Swarmlord ends very quickly, either because it turns its enemy into sashimi, or the hero is able to land a decisive blow quickly. Marneus discovered pretty quickly in their first duel that a drawn out fight with the Swarmlord was a bad idea, as he lost his limbs and had to sacrifice his honor guard to even survive. Fortunately, there is actually a bit of lore that allows us to see the true speed of the Swarmlord. In one insane piece of lore, 6 custodians were able to take on like a million Tyranids in a choke point, 300 style. They were able to massacre the Nid hordes, so the hive mind spawned the Swarmlord to finish them off. In a 3v1, it kills 2 of the Custodes before the final Custodes, an elite shield captain, engages it in a duel. They are evenly matched in speed, however the fight ends quickly when the Swarmlord overextends, wounds the shield captain, but then pays with its life. You could argue that this puts the Swarmlord's power as the same as 3 Custodians, but there is more to it than that.
Not really.
Either way, whenever the Swarmlord is mentioned, its speed is almost always remarked upon. What about its special abilities? Well, the Swarmlord is extremely versatile and can be remade differently depending on what the battlefield needs. It can have its bone swords replaced with guns or whips, it can have enhanced psychic ability, it can have the ability to give birth mid-battle to rippers, but the main form of the Swarmlord is known for its love of melee and its use of psychic ability. Now, a lot of people scratch their heads at the Swarmlord not really using its psychic powers much. Like, why does it engage in duels with Manius or Dante if it can literally just barbecue their brains?
Because 40k melee is honor, even to bugs. No, not really.
Well, it seems as if the Swarmlord just loves a good melee fight. It also could be arrogant and believe itself superior to Space Marines, which it technically is, but its arrogance has killed it on a number of occasions. It seems to use its psychic power more like how the Witcher uses magic, subtle powers thrown in to get an edge. While it seems to have a lot of psychic potential, it also seems to really struggle to focus it. When it fought Dante, it was peppering his mind with psychic attacks, but Dante's willpower kept it out. For Cassius, it thought its psychic mind blast would be sufficient, but it wasn't aware of the Reclusiarch's anti-psychic training. Overall, it does seem to be a bit of a plot hole with how little it uses its psychic potential, but I think it's more so just a personality thing. After all, the Swarmlord has a lot of freedom from the Hive Mind's control, and a part of that is its love of melee combat. I can't say I blame him. If I had 4 arms and massive swords, I'd probably love melee as well. What about the Swarmlord's skill? Well, here is where it really shines. Every time the Swarmlord dies, its memories are downloaded to the Hive Mind and then re-uploaded to the Swarmlord when it next spawns, meaning it has the experience of countless battles and deaths. It never dies the same way twice, as it is constantly adapting its form and battle doctrine. It now knows that volcano pistols fucking suck to be hit by. It now knows that a single psychic blast isn't enough to body a Reclusiarch. It now knows that Manius Calgar has bullshit hacks. During the Battle of Iandon, the Avatar of Cain challenged the Swarmlord to a duel. Now, the old Swarmlord would have accepted, but after a number of Tyranid campaigns ending in disaster because of his love of dueling, he instead sent in a bunch of Carnifexes to kill the Avatar instead.
He literally had a dozen Carnifexes trample the Avatar of Cain.
See? Learning. As for its commanding ability, it's an absolute beast. During the Tyranids' invasion of Ultramar, the Ultramarines were actually on the back foot for the entire war, as the Swarmlord's tactics were superior to their own. It is a master of adaptation, willing to use any and all tactics to win. During the Octarius War, it wasn't the Tyranids' greater numbers that won, it was the Swarmlord's tactics that carried the day. There is a reason why Tyranids always lose after the Swarmlord falls. His tactical ability carries them hard. What about the Swarmlord's gear? The Mad Lad carries 4 specially powered crystalline bone saws that can cut through any and all materials with ease. Ceramite, adamantium, auroramite, butter, it's all the same when faced with the Swarmlord's swords.
You have to have butter. Look at what the Tyranids eat. A little bit of butter will go a long way, I'm just saying.
The only thing that can keep them at bay is a powered weapons disruptor field. If you just have a chainsword or a non-powered sword, the bone swords are just going to cut straight through that. Although standard Hive Tyrants will carry a mix of sword, whip and gun, the Swarmlord heavily favours the quadruple sword setup, which I respect the shit out of. I mean, it's technically 5 swords, as the dude literally has a full-length blade on his head as well. So with all this in mind, how powerful is the Swarmlord really? Well, on paper, he's fucking deadly as, especially when he fulfills the role of commander, but as a duelist or fighter, he's super mid. The Overfiend of Octarius, a powerful orc, was able to kill him numerous times. Manius killed him in a straight up duel, with Dante also taking out the big bug. Time and time again, he is killed by Space Marines, not by greater demons or Primarchs. The new Dark Angel Codex recently brought out some new lore about the Lion and his first battles against the Nids. The Lion bodies the fuck out of a group of Screamer killers before he then duels a Hive Tyrant. It's not even close. The Lion completely fucks up the Hive Tyrant and dominates it, killing it in a sick Mortal Kombat-esque fatality. Now,
the Lion doing that to anything would not surprise me, because the Lion grew up fighting stuff like this. Like this, a Swarmlord to the Lion is Tuesday, okay? The strongest Swarmlord that has appeared in the lore so far is a light workout for the Lion, and that's not a joke.
Obviously, the Swarmlord is a lot stronger than a Hive Tyrant, but the result would have been similar. The Lion's skill and speed would have been way too much for the Swarmlord. So I would put the Swarmlord at around standard Greater Demon power. Maybe slightly weaker than an Avatar of Cain, which is similar to top tier Space Marines, but is below Primarchs, named Greater Demons or named Custodians. That's just the issue with the infinite consequence-free revive hack that the Swarmlord has. He's just way too easy to wharf. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then subscribe. That's all I'm asking. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Warpugs. That is the one thing about the Tyranids that you can't really, get over. They're there to lose, because if they ever win, it's over. And that's just the truth of the matter. If they ever win, it's game over. So they are there primarily to lose. That is the problem with the kind of persistent universe and the things that currently happen in 40k, because to be honest, Angron is always able to be brought back. Fulgrim can be brought back. Typhus can be brought back. He can be sent to the warp and brought back. Mortarion. All these characters can be sent to the warp, taken out 1,000, 100, 100,000 times, but they can always come back. Mornius Calgar, the second that he dies, unless they throw him in a dreadnought, he's done. That's where you start running into problems, because the more you take out these people that are supposed to be bad, like really, really big bads, the worse it gets. And it doesn't matter how well you write, some of these characters, you're still faced with that over and over and over again. Warpugs, Majorkill's links are going to be in the description below right next to my own, including for the new house, the wish list for the new house, Patreon, everything like that. Join the channel, become a member. I will catch you guys on the next one, and just remember, just get a can of Raid. You'll be thanking me when you are facing off against something with a blade bigger than a Buick. I'll catch you guys next time.